that you don't have. All right, welcome into wanna-bet. It's our sports betting show on Thursdays right here on the new Center Main streaming app. I'm Lee. This is Todd. We got lots to get to. All right, last week, kind of middle of the road. Could have been better, could have been worse.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
Despite all the rain, we actually did pretty well with the Red Sox. If you did live bet Sean Strickland, like we did tell you to do, then you were pretty happy. That was plus money there if you live bet that UFC fight. And the Sadowski sleeper has officially woken up with 2 hits in a row for Sadowski.
So pretty nice.
We'll get to Jimmy in just a little bit. We will start off.
We're going to start out with golf?
I feel like for the next 49 minutes, Todd is going to break down the dietary habits of
I've got it all.
3 golfers in the field.
Listen.
What their favorite color is, what they wore to their junior proms. I feel like we're going to know more.
By the way.
You don't know how to tell me you have a prom reference in here.
No, but junior prom is this weekend. My kids are well, it's not, it's junior and senior. They do them together here in Maine. It's prom this weekend. So my son got his tux last night. My daughter went and got her tailor, whatever. What do they do to hemmed dresses? Hemmed, I think it is. I don't know. Corsage is the whole thing.
You ready?
No.
Yeah, I know.
This is scary times.
What time are pictures? Got picture time?
Yeah, it's like 5,
What are they doing
6.
after? Who are they going to be with?
Don't even.
Need some responsible decision making.
There's a lot of drama in our household right now.
Responsible decision making.
Yes, we do.
This is what
we do need some more responsible decision making from our 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
You listening, 16-year-olds?
Just saying.
More responsible decision making, please.
Well, you're the parents. Lay down the law. They got a car.
There's one of my 2 16-year-olds.
Let them drive.
One of my 2 16-year-olds is grounded right now.
They got phones.
Is currently in grounding.
You like that phone? Guess who pays for it? Me.
Yeah, that's how it's going to be.
Just saying.
It's time. It's
Nothing
time.
to do with golf. But there you go.
But now back to golf.
Oh, hey!
I do have so much on the PGA. This is amazing.
Well, I would not have predicted that.
It's the second major on the golf calendar this year.
It is
the
PGA Championship.
Yes, it is.
I love that they haven't been in this course since 1962. Like, that's really kind of cool, actually. I like that. Because nobody's going to be like, oh, last time.
Yeah.
No, you have no last time, for this event at this course. It hasn't happened.
However, I did find one key connection to this course.
Did you pick Jack Nicklaus? Is Jack Nicklaus
Arnold Palmer is going to win the Wanamaker. He's going to be raising the Wanamaker trophy.
He was the last one. He's the defending champ in 62.
Right. All right. So it's being played at Aronimink Golf Club. Say that 3 times fast.
Nope.
Aronimink. It's in Newton, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Philadelphia. Actually, I was right in that area. I didn't realize this when we just went on a college tour, and we stopped at Villanova, and it's only about like 20 minutes from Villanova.
There you go.
So I wish I had known. I would have gone and scoped out the course.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, right? So just like in Masters, the prior years. Before we get to any of the golfers, there's some cool little stats. The prior year's winner hosts a big dinner for the past champions, and they do that here too at the PGA. Right. It's like the only
the Masters, right?
Yeah, it's like the only 2 events that do it. Last year's winner was Xander Schauffele. I'm sorry. The year before's winner was Xander Schauffele. Last year he hosted the dinner, and he had smoked goat cheese with dates. He had pickled watermelon, clams casino, steak crostini with blue cheese, and his main course was Wagyu New York strip.
Oh, let's go.
With blackened jumbo shrimp, so it was a surf and turf. With mashed potatoes, a bourbon bone marrow reduction. He did a banana split and a strawberry shortcake for dessert.
Yes.
So last year, Scotty Scheffler won it, and he got to pick the menu for this year. Do you want to just throw a dart? It's a way simpler than what Xander Schauffele did. And
I feel like Scotty's just like a regular kind of meat and potatoes kind of guy. So
I would have thought that way
basic
too.
Is my guess.
Right. I'll give you one hint. Go Italian. Go Italian.
He's going straight up chicken parm.
You nailed it.
Chicken
That's
parm.
my boy.
It's basic.
That's my boy.
Chicken parm. Security.
Come on! It was a friendly hug. Was it a little aggressive? Was it just I patted a little too hard?
That was good.
It was a little aggressive. Okay. I thought it was I forget how fragile you really are.
Fragile.
Fragile. Exactly.
Yeah, chicken parm.
Yeah. So he's going chicken parm with pasta, and then for dessert he went gelato. I mean, he could have gone ice cream. He did lemon, strawberry, and raspberry. So that's what they're doing.
Okay.
And I don't know if it must have been last night because actually the tournament probably already kicked off. I think the first tee time was at like 6:45 this morning.
We better hurry and tell you.
Yeah, well, it's already too late for that.
We better tell you our bets.
It's already too late for
that. They all
that.
just got canceled.
It's a pretty difficult course. It's not overly, long. It's not as long as Quail Hollow was last week.
Sure.
It's 7,400 yards, but it is a par 70 again, with only 2 par 5s. So, these guys, they've got to be good with their irons on these par 4s to get in close to the flagsticks so that they can make birdies on par 4s. Because it's not, it's always a gimme that they pretty much get a birdie on a par 5 on the PGA Tour. But with only 2 par 5s, it's a little different. So that's kind of what I looked at for stats, like best scoring averages for par 4s on the tour. And, you've got two or three locks that I love. And one is obviously the best golfer in the world, Scottie Scheffler. He still leads in so many stat categories. And, he's finished second in his last 3 tournaments at the Masters, the Heritage, and the Cadillac down in Miami. His last 3 PGA Championships, too, he's finished second, 8th, and he won it last year when it was at Quail Hollow. So you've got to put Scotty in one of your bets. Another guy that I like a lot is Ludvig Åberg. He's 26. He's from Sweden. To win the tournament, his odds are plus 2,000. He is one of the favorites, but a distant there behind Scottie Scheffler. He went to Texas Tech for college, so he's got a lot of familiarity with the U.S. Now he lives in the States too. He played at Texas Tech for 4 years, and he won actually Player of the Year in his senior year back in college in 2023. He lives in Florida now. He's ranked 15th in the world. And since the Arnold Palmer Invitational in early March, he's been on a tear. He's played in 7 tournaments since then. He's finished top 10 in 6 of them. 6 of the 7 since that tournament. He's finished top 10. That's incredible, including an 8th place finish last week at the Truist at Quail Hollow. So I've got a bet right out of the gate right here. Scottie Scheffler top 10 and Ludvig Åberg top 20, and that pays plus 160. So that's one of my bets.
All right.
I've got to get Cam Young in on my ticket.
Let's go.
I've got to get Cam Young on my ticket. Look, a lot of things with Cam Young I love watching him as a player. I'm a big fan of him now. He's he's becoming one of the elites. I think his crescendo that he's on here on the tour, he's going to be set in the same breath as Scottie Scheffler one of these days. And maybe it's this week. Maybe this is the week where he gets his major. He's ranked 3rd in the world right now, so he's flying up the rankings on the world rankings. He's made all 10 cuts this year, finishing top 10 in 6 of those 10 tournaments, including 3rd at the Masters. He also won at Sawgrass at the Players Championship down in Florida, the TPC Sawgrass. And he also won down in Miami at the Cadillac a couple of weeks ago. I really like him this week. He's great with his irons. And I really like him because here's the connection to Aronimink. His caddy, all right? His caddy, his name is Kyle Sturbinski. And they both went to college together. They went to Wake Forest. I was just down at Wake Forest, actually, on part of our college tour. Their golf facility there is, I can't even put it into words, how impressive, over the top, amazing, immaculate, like country club stuff right on their campus there. It's incredible. And some of the best golfers to ever reach the tour came out of Wake Forest, like Ben Crenshaw came out of Wake Forest, guys that you've heard of. These guys both went to Wake, and the other connection that they have is they're both from the Northeast. Cam Young is from Scarborough, New York, which is a little north of New York City. And his caddy, Kyle Strabinsky, is from the town of Yardley, Pennsylvania, which is 45 minutes
that's close.
From Aronimink.
That's close.
He played Aronimink a lot growing up.
He knows the course.
He knows the course. Ever since Strabinsky has gotten on Cam Young's bag, which was from the Truist tournament last year, 2025. That's when he changed out and brought in his buddy from college. Cam Young's gone on a tear. This guy, Strabinsky, is like a really great putt reader. He's helped Cam Young, dialed him in on the greens. Cam hits it long. He's got great irons. His putter always struggled.
Sure.
Ever since this guy got on his bag, the tandem, those two are like, it's like us. It's like TG and LG.
Yes.
Or LG and TG.
Yes.
It's Goldie and Gutty. It's something like that.
Yes.
I'm telling you, there's a connection here. And because
Thunder and lightning.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly.
You got any salt and pepper?
Maverick and Goose.
Maverick and Goose. We think we can stop there. I'm Maverick, by the way. That's Goose.
See why I did that?
He does.
I did Maverick and Goose. I was hoping you wouldn't notice that.
Are you Goose's son? Is that what it is? You were the new?
No, I wasn't Miles Teller. That was Miles Teller.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll be Miles Teller.
So I've got to get Cam Young in here. I'm just going to take him top 10, and that pays plus 145. I mean, again, I showed you the stats on him finishing top 10s. There's just so much connection to this course for him, and he and his caddy right now are just like on top of the world. So let's go off the elites here and get down to some, distant ones, some ones that you can do some Casey Kasem.
That's where I usually live.
Yeah, exactly.
I live a little more in the weeds.
So
a little less obvious.
There are a handful of guys that play really, really well on par fours.
Don't be picking my guys.
All right, so we have Ricky Fowler. He's 37. He's playing some of the best golf he's played in years. He's second in scoring average on par fours. His last 3 tournaments were the Heritage, he finished 8th, the Cadillac in Miami, he finished 9th, and the Truist last weekend, he finished 2nd. He's never really had much success, though, in the majors, and he's missed 2 of the last 3 cuts at the PGA. But his trends, on these par fours are exactly what you want to see. So if you're willing, to take a flyer on a long shot, you might want to look at Ricky Fowler for one of them. Another guy is Gary Woodland, 41 years old, all right? Incredible story. He had a brain tumor. He had it removed. There was all kinds of PTSD from it. He had to take time off the tour. It's been a struggle for him to get back into form, but he's playing really well. He's 11th in par 4 scoring average on the tour. He's played some great golf these last couple of months. He finished 14th at the Valspar. He won the Texas Children's Open in Houston. He finished 33rd at the Masters and 8th at the Heritage and 38th at the Cadillac, and this past weekend 17th at the Truist. So he's making cuts and he's finishing top 40s. Brooks Koepka is another guy. Checkered past, not only because he left the tour and went to the Live Tour, and now he's back. There's a lot of controversy with that. He's had a lot of controversy with Bryson DeChambeau, too. They've had like this feud between the two of them. I wish they would get it together and kind of just bury hatchets and be friends, because I love them both. I think they would both be great, especially now that it sounds like the Live Tour is collapsing and maybe they all end up back on the PGA Tour. You need these guys on Sundays to garner interest in the sport. Sure. DeChambeau, Koepka, John Rahm, these guys, yeah, especially the Americans, though, especially the Americans. So anyway, because he left and came back, he's not allowed in the signature events like last weekend at the Truist. So he played in a sub event, and this was at Myrtle Beach. He finished 11th there last week, and again, it's a weakened field. I mean, you don't have many like big names there, but he finished 11th and he shot a 64 in his 3rd round there. 2026 has been up and down for him. He missed the cut 3 times, but he's also had 5 top 20 finishes, including a 12th place finish at the Masters in Augusta. So he does still continue to play majors really well. He struggled a little bit with his driving, and his putting has not been great. But he is number 1 on the tour in par 4 scoring averages and strokes gained on par 4s. He's #1 on the tour. So if he can just somehow dial it in a little bit and be a little better off the tee, this guy could very well be there on the leaderboard on Sunday. So I'm going to pick 2 of these guys for. Oh, I have one more. Patrick Cantlay, my bad. Patrick Cantlay, 34, another old timer. He's jumped 17 spots, and he's 11th now on par 4 scoring averages. And in his last 4 tournaments, he's 7th Valspar, 12th Masters, again a major, 8th at the Heritage, and 10th last week at the Truist. His game's really solid. So I'm going to pick 2 of these 4 guys. One of them is Cantlay, and the other one is Koepka. I'm going to go top 40 plus
top 40,
170. There was another little thing, a little tidbit that I wanted to throw at you, and I don't. Producer Isaac, do you have video of this? Okay, cool. So, over the last several years, the Wanamaker Trophy, it's an actual trophy, and the winner, always holds it up above their head. When they pick this thing up,
I feel like it's gonna have a Gronk ending to it.
Well, it kind of does. The last 2 years, I think it was Scheffler and Schauffele. Watch him pick up this trophy. Watch what happens.
Enjoy your first PGA Championship.
Raise it! Oh boy! Whoa! He just broke the Wanamaker.
He hit himself in the head.
Yeah. This happens. It happens all the time with this trophy.
Yeah, you can actually hear Nance in the background.
Yeah, Nance said something.
This happens all the time.
Yes, it's like a thing.
Well, okay.
They finally fixed it.
How about duct tape?
That, or
what are we doing?
They put this little edge along it so that it sits firmly in there and it won't come flying off anymore.
How
I don't know why it took
the maker of the trophy.
I don't know why it took 89 or 120 years to figure that out.
Why would that happen once and only once?
I don't know.
Well,
so there's the PGA
if you
for
win,
you folks.
Throw a helmet on before you lift it up. To
Right.
Protect yourself at all times.
Right.
It's like boxing out here.
Yeah.
I cannot believe.
We don't have any of the same guys, huh?
Well, we have one, but that's it.
That's it. Nice. That's great.
So
good.
Is it okay if I talk now? Are you good with that?
I am finished.
Okay.
I'm
all right. But another. So, Mr. Gutner, you're a golf aficionado.
Talk to me.
Who has the
Talk to me, Goose.
Who has the course record at Aramaramaracac
No idea.
golf course?
No idea.
I'll tell you that the course record is 62.
Okay. Is it your boy like Justin Rose?
It's a 10 under 62.
Is it Justin Rose?
And it's been done twice. 62 has been done twice.
Okay.
By the same golfer.
By the same golfer.
The same golfer has shot 62 on this course
it's
2 times.
okay.
He's 9 for 9 in made cuts this season. 9 events, 9 cuts made. Holds the course record. Has 5 top 10 finishes on the tour this year.
Is he American or
he
is he
escaped
Is he American or European?
lair.
Is he American or
I'm
European?
happy you didn't pick him.
Give me a hint. Did I already get him?
Do you like
Justin Rose?
the song Dreams?
Dreams can't come true.
No, Dreams. Do you like Gold Dust Woman? Do you like You Make Love
These from
and
like
Fun?
the 50s? What? No, I don't. I've never heard of
This
these
is from
songs.
one of the greatest bands in the world. Have you ever heard of Stevie Nicks? You ever
Yes.
heard of Lindsey Buckingham?
Yes.
From Fleetwood Mac.
From Fleetwood Mac. All right.
Tommy Fleetwood. This is from
Oh,
Mac.
Fleetwood. Oh, yeah, Fleetwood. I like
Tommy
Fleetwood. Good job.
Is the course record holder and has shot 62 2 times at this course.
Okay.
In obviously different events.
Yeah.
9 for 9 this year in made cuts, 5 top 10 finishes. There's no way I'm placing any bet that doesn't have Tommy Fleetwood in it this week.
Let's go, Tommy.
Because he owns this course. Also, like you, I like Brooks Koepka. Donald Ross is one who designed this course, and Koepka is great at Donald Ross specific courses.
That's good to know.
Random. He actually won the PGA Championship on a Donald Ross course at Oak Hill in 23, so not too long ago.
Okay.
And he finished top 4 at US Open at a Donald Ross course. So Donald Ross courses and Brooks Koepka do kind of go together.
Great.
So bet number 1 is give me some Fleetwood Macs here.
Yep.
I got Tommy Fleetwood and Brooks Koepka, each to finish in the top 20, and that's plus 380. I mean, I love Fleetwood Macs. So that is bet number 1.
And that would qualify for the bonus, I believe.
Yes.
The bonus is plus 300 or greater. I think it's plus 300, not plus 200. I think it's plus 300.
There's also, and I haven't seen this before, and that doesn't mean it wasn't there. I just noticed it today. There's a make the cut bonus I've never seen.
I saw the same thing too.
So have you seen that before?
I did that bet.
But I haven't seen it before.
It's never been there before.
So there is a make the cut.
Yes.
You can pick however many you need to make the cut. But you do have to get over plus 300.
Yeah.
You can't take like Scheffler.
Well, no, you can. You just have to. You're gonna have to add a bunch of guys.
That's right. You have to reach the threshold for the bonus to kick in.
Correct.
But you can do a straight up make the cut bet.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that one.
I hadn't either. It's awesome.
All right. So I went a little deeper for this next one. So as you kind of mentioned, the short game really is on this course specifically is going to be really huge. So it's not just for the big bangers that hit a country mile. You've got to be able to finish, whether that's chipping or putting. So the guy with the hottest putter, top 5 hottest putter on the tour, and already has 2 wins in 26, is a guy I had never heard of until I was doing this research of like who's really good at the short games and blah blah blah. And I go, who's this guy? Chris Gotterup.
Oh, Gotterup. He's an American.
One of the favorites, too.
Yeah, he is one of the favorites. He's great. He's a big bomber.
He does well, though. In the short game, the putting specifically, he's one of the tops on the tour. And also, I went with your par 4 theory, too. I was trying to find some par 4 guys who are good at par 4s. Yeah. So top 10 on the tour this year in par 4 scoring and bogey avoidance is what it's called, which I love, is Siwoo Kim. So he is also one of those great, not going to go 100 under, but not going to go 100 over. Like he's pretty much right down the middle here. So if I put Gotterup and Siwoo Kim together for a top 20 bet, that's plus 700.
Come on.
Big bucks, no whammies.
My gosh.
So plus 700 for just 2 of these guys.
That's the thing.
To come in the top 20. And I know it's a loaded field, and I get it.
It is a loaded field.
As easy as
and
always.
It's one of the largest. It might be the largest field. It's way bigger than the Masters, too, because that's more selective.
These guys at least have a little statistical data to back up why.
There are so many really.
700. Yeah. Throw a couple dollars on it and see what happens.
You can make an argument for probably 25 guys at this particular tournament.
I think you mentioned all of them.
I tried to.
So 2 bets for me. The first one's a little bit safer. Yeah. And the second one, if you have a little, you're not averse to risk, why not?
I like it.
Throw it out there.
I like it a lot.
All right, we're moving on to the Red Sox, who love to play the Phillies. Everybody loves to play the Phillies right now.
Well, everybody likes to play the Red Sox right now.
But everybody in the so I'm gonna preface this. So producer Isaac wrote this. Only a few games out of a wild card spot.
This is insane.
This is true. But so is every single team in the American League. There are four teams in the entire American League that are over 500.
That's it.
That means everybody else is under 500.
Yeah.
So the entire American League sucks.
It does, but...
And the Red Sox are right there because everybody is an equal amount of sucking.
Yeah.
So... Yeah. Anyway, they beat the Phillies last night. They lost game 1 to the Phillies. So game 3 is tonight, and then they go to Atlanta. So tonight's game is what we'll start with.
So they got Suarez throwing tonight, who's the next Philly.
Yeah.
He pitched for them last year, or for many, I think a bunch of years.
He was there for a while, I think they raised him.
So in your opinion, I have mine, but in your opinion, I'm confused on this one. Is that a good thing for Ranger Suarez and the Red Sox tonight, or is that a bad thing for Ranger Suarez and the Red Sox tonight? You would say it's good.
I think if you have to decide if you'd rather be the hitter who has knowledge of the pitcher or the pitcher who has knowledge of the hitter, I'd rather be the pitcher.
Okay.
Because you're controlling where the ball's going. And you know that Trevor Story can't hit a high fastball. Okay. Or whatever it is. So
that's good to know.
If I'm picking between those two, I'd rather be the pitcher.
Yeah, because I was between look, Ranger Suarez wants, it's not necessarily revenge, but he wants to prove to his ex-team that he was worth the dollars that the Red Sox spent on him.
They shouldn't have let him go as a free agent.
Yeah, I was struggling between that and, but the Phillies might have the inside scoop on Suarez. But to your point,
but Suarez gets to choose.
Yeah.
He's picking what's coming. So
right.
The Phillies have
that's why I like
to that.
Thank you for clarifying that. That makes more sense.
That side of the equation I'd rather have.
Yeah, I like that. I like that thought a lot.
If he knows what you can't hit, that's all you're getting.
So what do you have for tonight?
So Luzardo is actually should pitch for the Red Sox because he's a typical
Just average.
No, just drives you nuts.
Oh.
Like he'll strike out 10, 12, guys every single game and walk 6 and leave after the 4th. So you're like, what just happened? I watched greatness and I watched awfulness all at the same time.
Okay.
And that feels like he should pitch for the Red Sox because he's got crazy skills. He just can't harness it. So I'm not going with a winner on this one because you don't know. But I can tell you that they both strike out a lot of batters, and the Phillies strike out a ton, and so do the Red Sox. So I've got Luzardo and Suarez each striking out at least 5 batters.
Okay.
And Luzardo's going to walk at least 3 guys.
3 guys?
Oh, easy, dude.
Seriously?
Easy, going to walk 3 guys.
Wow.
He makes Brian Bale look like a control. I mean, I'm telling you, Luzardo, he'll probably walk 5 or 6, but I'm going to go 3.
Who was the Dodger
5-13.
pitcher that we picked up at the deadline last year?
Oh, Walker Buehler.
Buehler, who walked like 6 guys every outing.
And
Dustin May, he was the other one.
Yeah, but we had Walker
yeah.
Buehler too from the Dodgers.
Yes.
Who was
both
literally
of them,
walk or Buehler.
Right. So that's what Luzardo's like, huh?
He's just kind of all over the
man.
place. I mean, you got if you're a Phillies fan, you probably love him because he throws it 100 miles an hour,
Yeah.
but you can't like rein it in.
Yeah.
So he's got anyway 5 Ks, and 3 walks.
Okay.
So
And do you know
tonight?
what did that pay? Do you remember?
I couldn't do walks this morning.
So it's not
As of
available
this
yet.
morning, the walks.
It'll
wasn't
be available. It
so
always is.
Check it out.
Yeah.
But just the 2 Ks alone, if just on the 5 Ks and the 5 Ks was
that
plus money.
plus money, I bet,
So when you
yeah.
add the 3 walks,
Okay.
it'll boost it up. So that's why
All right.
for tonight specifically. And I got Braves.
Yep.
We'll get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Braves in a minute.
I didn't touch tonight's
All right, so
game,
you
so
got
we can talk
Braves?
Braves. Yeah,
Yep.
Braves come to town, playing at Fenway
Also,
tomorrow.
did you have any problem with pitching
Saturday, Sunday.
matchups?
I mean, not really. I mean, I saw that
last week. We couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Or there was discrepancy. Also, all the ones that I found.
you found were the right ones. They were the right ones.
Yes.
So who do they have on
And
Sunday?
The only site that doesn't have pitching matchups for starting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the only one, MLB.com.
It's your league.
Every site has the pitching
It's
matchups
your league,
for this
MLB.
weekend. MLB.com has TBA.
Get it together.
TBA. I'm like, what do you? Why
What do they have, like interns
Why am I on
working
the
their
site?
websites?
What am I doing on the site? Like,
Right.
I deleted it from the favorites. I don't even want it
Useless.
anymore.
Useless.
Anyway,
So the Braves are the best team in baseball, record-wise. I mean, are they better than the Dodgers? Probably not. But bam, look at that. It was a bomb.
Did you see who hit that?
Yeah, you Scrimpsy's
That's
kid.
Yaz.
Yeah, this is the mini Yaz. This is Yaz 2.0. They're the best hitting team in baseball. They have the 2nd most home runs in baseball. And they've done this without Ronald Acuna. Or Acuna, I don't know how depending on where you're from. you pronounce it. Right. He's been out with a hamstring injury. They have the best pitching in baseball, lowest ERA, and they give up like the fewest walks. They have some of the most Ks.
And the Sox they're missing Chris Sale. Chris Sale's tonight for Atlanta.
Yes.
So they're actually missing him.
Speaking of Sale, why? How did he suck so bad on the Red Sox, and he's still pitching like he's 25 years old in Atlanta? What the heck? It's almost like he did it on purpose.
You ever see that happen before with a Red Sox pitcher that wasn't happy where they were at and decided to go somewhere else and all of a sudden got really good
Who?
and used some maybe steroids? Roger Clemens.
Oh, Clemens.
Yeah. Clemens in the last 2 years with Boston.
Wow,
was
yeah.
horrible.
That's a good
Goes
point.
to Toronto. Guess what? Cy Young Award. Oh, hey, look at that. Where were you?
Wow.
Where were you over here? When we were paying you. Just
Man.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Chris Sale's doing steroids. I'm just saying.
Or that Clemens did either.
No, but I think there was a little bit of truth of if you want to get out of this
Yeah,
place,
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
don't
yeah.
make them sign you, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you become good again.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. The Sox are throwing Connor Early,
Yep.
Tolle, and the Sunday one.
I have Sunday TBA across
Yeah.
the board.
Okay. So I didn't have that either.
So I skipped Sunday.
Yeah. They're going against Striker, right?
Strider.
rather.
Yeah.
I mean, I call him Striker because he strikes out everybody.
He does.
Yeah. So.
Come off the injury list.
Yeah. He is. So he'll be.
He's had 2 starts back.
Okay. So
he hasn't pitched
will they
all
stretch
year.
him out a little bit? You think?
He's on his 3rd start of the year. So
maybe he'll stretch out a
He missed
little.
the beginning of the season.
Well, with the Red Sox, it comes down to their bats. They literally can't hit. Yet, surprisingly, when you look at their stats, they're actually middle of the pack for like batting average. They're not. They're like not the worst in home runs, even though they only
they're
have.
at the bottom of home runs.
They have 20. They have, what was it, 31 home runs, third worst in the majors. They hit 2 last night. That's probably why.
Yeah,
they would have been
we
last.
We talked about that. And Schwarber has 17 by himself.
Yeah.
They have and they were before yesterday's game. They were the 3rd worst in baseball for runs scored too.
Yeah.
Let's say the 3rd fewest runs scored.
They're literally one of the worst hitting teams in baseball. With that said, and I just want to get back to this for a second. They're 2.5 games out of a wild card. I know we mentioned all this. There's 4 teams in the AL that are above 500. I do feel like they're going to turn at some point, and they're going to start hitting a little. Like Trevor Story hit a homer last night. Like maybe. I don't want to jump the gun here or anything, but at some point they're going to start hitting. And maybe if it happens, like even if it's not this month and it happens next month, like they're only 2.5 games out of a wild card. Like they literally.
Does that keep Trevor Story on the team?
Well, so that's the other thing.
Do they? Trevor Story is right now prime candidate number 1 to get shipped off somewhere else.
The key to this is they have to turn the corner, I think, by like mid-June. Otherwise, they're gonna just disseminate this. They're gonna pick it apart and they're gonna sell all the assets.
If he doesn't come back and his injury goes a little
or
bit
Crochet,
longer,
they decide to like just shelve,
slow everybody down.
Exactly. So I do like. Am I worried yet? Surprisingly, no, because of how bad the American League is. But they do need to start hitting within a month. And that's my opinion.
I think that them being so close in the wild card race is going to hurt them because I don't think they're very good. So
I don't either.
I think the fact of where they are is not a reflection of them.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of how bad everybody else is.
Yes.
So if you're just looking at yourself, you're still not a great baseball team and you need to get better. So I don't want false hope of, well, look, we're only 2.5 games out. Sure, but you're still not a good baseball team.
I don't.
And so they have to get better somehow,
know.
whether that's through trade or let Story go, find a contender that will take him and get more back. He's the number 3 in the league in errors for shortstops.
He's terrible defensively
all
this year.
of a sudden he can't field.
Yeah,
so
that's a great point.
Just if you've got value there, don't pretend you're good and make a run for it because you're not that good.
The one thing is, though, they do have the pitching.
They have young pitching.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's showing promise. And the guys they went out and got in the offseason, Sonny Gray and Ranger Suarez, are pitching very well right now.
Yeah.
Brian Bayo came in after they threw a starter out, or whatever they call it. What do they call him?
An opener.
An opener out.
He's done that twice now.
He's pitched pretty well.
Chad Tracy has done this 2 times.
I know.
And he did well both times.
So look, they have the arms.
I agree.
To compete with the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Braves of the world. If they can just get a little bit better hitting, they actually could make. I'm just saying the season is not over. Are they going to be over in wins this year? No. Are you going to win that bet? 100%. But they could make the postseason and they could go pretty deep in it if they can just find a way to do it. Anyway, the last. Let's see.
So Friday's game is early strike.
Yeah, they've scored 3 runs or less in 6 straight games. They've also scored 3 runs or less in 24 of the 42 games this year. So until further notice, take the under on runs, which is 3.5. Like tonight is 3.5. I don't know that.
Just for them.
Yeah, just for the Red Sox.
Okay.
Yes, it's also for the Phillies too, but the odds are just different.
Yeah.
I noticed that. So anyway, I would just until further notice, like. Just keep taking the under on runs, and more times than not right now, you are going to hit that bet just based on their current crappy hitting. But when it starts to turn, and I do think it's a when and not an if, then you got to pull that bet off the table, and that's all I got.
We have similar amounts of research here because I'm all in on the under for Friday and Saturday, not just because of the woeful offense, but because of the pitching. We have 2 really good pitching matchups on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So Early and Strider, I've got them each striking out 5, and that the game will also go under on total runs.
Yeah.
So I think that's fairly easily.
I love the
attainable.
The 5s are very easily attainable, and the under is probably 2.
So if you like my Friday bet, you're going to love my Saturday bet because I've got Peyton Tolley and Bryce Elder also striking out 5 and also the under.
Nice.
Because all 4 of these pitchers that we just talked about are averaging more than a strikeout an inning.
Okay.
So
good.
If they pitch 5 innings each, they each get 5 strikeouts by the math, and that should hold the other teams down offensively on total runs. So I've got the same bet twice for Friday and for Saturday.
Yep.
And the weather should be gorgeous, so
Yeah.
no problems there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would go 5Ks and under on both.
All right, cool.
All right, let's go off to the races.
Which one?
We don't have the horns. We don't have the horns.
Well, it's not the Kentucky. I think it's only in the Kentucky Derby they
I
do
know,
that,
but
right?
we should have the Preakness. The Preakness got to have a horn.
Do you think they have a horn?
Yeah, they must have a horn.
I bet they don't have
You
a
know,
horn.
maybe budget cuts, no horn. Okay, second leg of the Triple Crown Preakness. Kentucky Derby winner Golden Tempo not running in
Not
this
there.
one, saving it for the Belmont.
Yep.
And there's a bunch of bunch of horses that did not run in the Kentucky Derby that are now going to be running in the Preakness.
Yeah.
Including one of your favorites there, which is Chip Honcho at 5-1, didn't run the Kentucky Derby on purpose because the trainer said that track is too long for us. So we're going to save it for the Preakness.
Yeah,
because
they call that strategery.
Chip Honcho, they do call it that.
Yeah.
Chip Honcho is famous-ish for
Shorter
early
track.
speed and just
We're
super fast.
Yeah.
But not the endurance.
Not the closing
to go
speed.
The whole way.
Yeah.
Right? So in researching this one,
Hare, not a turtle.
exactly.
Yeah.
Chip Honcho should be your front runner in this one. Should set the pace. Should be out in front.
Okay.
But there is a horse that has a reputation and a small little history here of closing strong and running at what is called stalking speed.
Stalking.
So this horse will not likely be in first place until the end. It's one of those ones that sits right outside the pack. Lets everybody kind of run out of gas and just stays right with you.
Slow and steady wins the race.
And then as soon as they
Slow
come
and
around the
steady
corner,
wins
it's
the
like,
race.
here we go.
All right.
And finishes strong. That horse,
You ever play Spy Hunter back in the day?
I did.
You know when you could do like the little you could do like the little boost.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things,
This is what this
like a
horse
nitrous boost or whatever.
This is what the horse says. Okay, so this horse that I like is this is how I would equate how this horse got named.
Yeah.
Hey Todd,
Hey.
do you even remember what we did last night? Say no.
No.
Todd, last night when we were having so much fun, dude,
Yeah.
we bought a horse, and the other guy goes, "The hell we did!"
Okay.
The horse's name is the hell we.
The hell we did?
That's my winner.
Really?
The hell we did.
Is it the 8 horse?
No, it's not even the 8 horse.
not the 8 horse?
It's the 7 horse.
Heck?
But this is the horse that has a hit. Look, you saw it right there.
Yeah.
Stalking speed, kind of second and third, coming around the corner,
Sure.
and then it's like, beep, beep, bye, and
Peace
then
out.
closes strong. And this is what this horse does.
He gone.
So I've got the hell we did to win the race, and I please pray that that's how that horse got acquired, because that would be
This would be
such a
amazing.
great story. How'd you name it? Well, me and my buddy were out.
You should Google
Bought a horse.
Google how the name came
The
up
hell we
while I
did.
do mine. That's amazing.
Wouldn't that be so great?
Yes.
I don't want to know the truth, because my version of how that
It's
horse
way
is
better.
named is better.
Way better.
So
you got to win, place, or show?
Yeah, win, place, or show. So top 3.
All right.
So top 3, Hell's Bells.
What is his
Hell
odds?
we did. Well, Todd, can't bet on horse racing still on the draft.
No, I know, but what are like?
Oh,
Is he
15
one?
to 1.
Was he one? He was 15 to
1.
1. Okay.
As of this morning.
Got it.
To win. So.
All right.
Yeah, if you want him to win, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a fun name, but if in top 3, that's my guy. That's who I'll be cheering for. The hell we did.
All right. So this race is usually raced at Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore in the city limits. They're doing major renovations, so it's not being raced there. So it's being held at Laurel Park in Maryland, just so you know. And the track, I did see, I saw like some sort of like picture of the track in one of the articles I read, and it's shaped differently a little bit. It has like a tighter fourth turn, so that the analyst said that you can get like a whiplash effect coming out of it. So there might be the closers. The horses that are known as closers are the ones that,
Benefit from.
They benefit from something like that. They have finishing speed. They're not out of the gate fast, kind of like your guy that you just mentioned. So this might play well into the guy you just said. The hell we did.
Hell we did.
Because he's got closing speed, obviously, and he might get a little whiplash effect too on that last turn. There are 20 horses in the Kentucky Derby. In this Preakness, there are only 14. So, you have a better chance to get the right horse. But there's a lot of horses that are all kind of in similar odds. You've got Iron Honor. He's at 9-2. Taj Mahal 5-1. Chip Honcho 5-1. Incredibolt 5-1. So there's a lot of like similar odds in this one because it's kind of a
Not unlike the
tighter
Derby.
field.
The Derby was similar.
You're right.
I mean, there
You're
were
right.
a lot of just kind of pick 'em.
Yeah, there were a lot of options. Weather looks very warm and dry right now, so that's another thing. It should be a fast track and a fast pace. So good for these, the sprinters and that kind of thing. You're not looking for a mutter in this one. I'm gonna buy the story here. There's a really great story with Taj Mahal. One of the favorites at 5-1. First of all, Laurel is Taj Mahal's home track.
Oh, I do like that.
Okay, so this is where he lives. He's a Maryland horse. This is where he lives. This is where his stable is. This is what he's familiar with. He doesn't have to be uncomfortable in his new settings. He knows where to be walked to. He knows where his food is. He's not going to have jet lag. He's not going to get, COVID on the plane or anything like that. So this horse is in its own accommodations. It's used to its routines here, all that stuff. I love that. It's the only horse in the field that has that part of the story. He also happens to be undefeated in all 3 races that he's done at this track. So that's another thing. Now, the fields that he was racing against, they weren't what they call G1s, which is like, the top flight horses. They're kind of the second tier ones. So, keep that in mind. It's not up against like, some of these elite horses in these better odds. There's also more to the story. There's a really cool husband and wife connection to this horse. The husband is the jockey, and the wife is the trainer.
Love that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's such a cool story.
I like that.
So again, a female trainer. And that was the big story coming out of the Kentucky Derby.
Do back-to-back on
Yes, the female trainer was first ever to win the Kentucky Derby, was a female trainer this year. So, there's that too. Sheldon Russell is the jockey. That's the man, and his wife, his name is Jackie. So that's the connection, and it's pretty cool. Let's see. He also he's in the 1 hole. He drew the 1 gate, coming out of the gate there in the 1 hole, which is really good for him specifically because he's a really fast starter, and will likely be in the lead pack, coming out of the gate and for the first, half of the race. So he won't really have to fight for position. He won't waste energy fighting to get to the lead pack. He should be already in it. So I'm a sucker. I'm going to buy the sucker story because of the female connection, the husband and wife connection, and the fact that that's his home course. So I would go after that horse. Where are
you picking him, though? First, second, third?
I mean,
to win?
Let's just go win. What I would normally do, this is what I would normally do. I would box him in a win-place show, which means he can come in any order of those. But if he shows or he wins, you're going to get way more money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I want him to win, and I would box him in on a win-place show. If you want to take a look at a closer, similar to what Lee looked at right there, I do like Incredibolt quite a bit. This horse actually raced in the Derby 2 weeks ago. There are a handful of horses that did race in the Derby and are racing in the Preakness.
Yep.
Obviously there's not going to be a Triple Crown winner this year because Golden Tempo's not racing in this one. He is, by the way, racing in the Belmont Stakes in June, on June 6th. But they're resting him for that race. They're gonna take it easy on him. But so Incredibolt did race 2 weeks ago at the Derby. He finished 6th, but he was like way back in the pack for most of that race. He went from 14th to 6th on the back stretch. So he has closing speed. This is a shorter track, and that hopefully would benefit him. So I like Incredibolt too at 5-1. So I would also box that guy in too with a win-play show. The betting structure of horse racing, I'm not good at it. And I'm not even good at picking horses, but those are the two that I find. Like, I just typically do like a win-play show and just go for it all for one of the horses. Yeah.
I did look up how they came up with my horse's name because I needed to know after you said I needed to know.
Yeah.
So I wasn't far off.
Really?
So
Stop it.
The owner, whose name is Joey Peacock, said that they bought the horse and the family members chose the name Senor Buscador. So Joey Peacock went to his father, Joey Peacock Sr., and said, "Hey, Dad, we bought the horse and we're going to name it, we named it Senor Buscador." And Joe Peacock Sr. said, "The hell we did."
That's incredible.
And the family loved it, and they started just using that phrase.
The hell we did.
And they named the horse. The hell we did.
That's amazing. Nice
So
find.
I wasn't far off.
No, nice find.
All right, time to wake up.
All right, Jimmy.
Jimmy! Let's
Come on,
play
Jimmy.
Jimmy's Open. Sadowski's here to give us some of our picks on sports that we might be sleeping on. Jimmy's sleepers. He's been 2 in a row. What's he got this week?
Well, all good things come in threes, and hopefully this darts bet is one of them. Yep, we're doing darts again. Not much going on, so the sleeper is going to keep rolling with what is the hot hand right now. Literally throwing them. Luke Littler in darts. We're rolling with the favorite in the Premier League right now. 2 weeks to go until the playoffs, and this is usually a time where the winners win, the losers keep losing. So that's pretty much my strategy here. Pretty basic, pretty much going chalk here, but I'm taking Luke Littler playing Johnny Clayton. Now, there is some risk with this one just because Luke and Johnny are going for the top spot. They're the top 2 in the leaderboard right now in darts, so they go back and forth quite a bit, but Luke has beat him the last 2 times, and Luke is in a zone right now. You pretty much can't stop him, so I'm going with Littler. You gotta like him in this one. That's why the odds, I think, are so high, over -300. Then, Josh Rock, on the other hand, he is in a very bad place right now. Last place, in fact. So I'm saying take the guy playing Josh Rock this week. His name is Gian Van Veen, and he's lower in the standings too, but he's not as bad as Josh Rock because right now in the Premier League for darts, nobody is. So go with this parlay, feel decent about it this week. It's around +112, I believe. So let's get another hit, guys.
I love it.
All right, Jimmy.
He goes, "That guy's not good, but he's better than that guy." I love it. All right, good job, Jimmy.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, we had a huge UFC card last weekend, and there's another big fight this weekend, but it's not in the UFC, but it is MMA. Ronda Rousey is making her return to MMA after nearly 10 years away. She's a heavy favorite against Gina Carano, who is 17 years removed from her last fight. If you're not an MMA fan, Gina Carano was Ronda Rousey before Ronda Rousey was. So she's one of the pioneers of women's MMA.
Okay.
And was a huge star back in the day, and then got into acting. And I'm
Really?
Yes, and I'm pretty sure, and I don't have time to Google it, but you can if you want. Her father was a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. I'm quite certain that's true. Gina Carano's father was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Anyway, so this is happening under the Jake Paul promotion of MVP Sports. It's going to happen on Netflix. So this is all uncharted waters here, where Netflix is dipping into the UFC. It's not UFC, to MMA.
He was.
And they're getting away from Dana White's promotion. They shopped this. Rousey and Carano did shop it to the UFC, and Dana White, who found and developed Rousey, said, "We love you guys. We can't do this, but we're going to wish you the best of luck." So they brought probably money. Like they want a certain amount of money. And the UFC said, we think you're worth X. They said, we think we're worth Y. They couldn't figure it out. So Netflix was like, come on over here. And Jake Paul, who's dying to be a promoter in this world, like, we'll give you whatever money you want. Please, let's do this. So they built a whole card around it. They've got a whole bunch of former UFC fighters. Francis Ngannou, former heavyweight champ from the UFC, is on this card.
Cool.
Nate Diaz and Mike Perry, former UFC guys, they've come over. So this is kind of like a ex-UFC fighters little kind of mini card over here.
Yeah.
But the girls are certainly the highlights here. So Rousey is 39 years old. Carano is 44 years old. Again, Carano hasn't fought anybody since 2009. Rousey hasn't fought anybody since 2016. Do you know the last time Ronda Rousey has had 14 professional fights in her career? Olympic medalist in judo, turns professional. She had 14 fights. How many times has Ronda Rousey made it the distance where the judges make the decision out of 14 fights?
Zero.
Never once has made it to a decision.
Okay.
Either a finish.
How many rounds are there?
3 or 5 if it's a title fight, 5, and if it's not a title fight, 3.
Okay.
So this is one of her losses actually. So she's 12-2. She was 12-0 and then lost her first fight ever right here to Holly Holm, which was the beginning of her demise, almost like when Ali lost to Buster Douglas. Tyson lost to Buster Douglas. That was kind of the end of Mike Tyson. This was essentially the beginning of the end of Ronda Rousey when she lost here to a left kick to the head. I don't know if we're going to show her or not, but it was pretty devastating. Anyway, but Ronda Rousey is, like I said, an Olympic champion. She's a medalist. Judo is her strength. She's a huge submission artist. She's famous for the arm bar, which she brought with her to WWE when she went there. She was arm barring her wrestling opponents. So that's kind of her shtick. Carano is a Muay Thai fighter, which is striking, so submission. Carano has been out of the ring for 17 years. So the belief and the consensus here is Rousey's not going to strike with her because Carano will beat her, but Rousey can probably take her down fairly easily at 5 years younger and far less removed. And once she gets Carano on the ground, that'll be the end of it. So Rousey's a huge favorite here. So the bet to make to try to even get close to some money
was
here.
Was it minus 500?
That was her to win.
To win.
So if you pick win and you pick the method of victory, even that is minus 250.
My gosh.
Rousey is a huge favorite to win by submission. So to win by submission is minus 250. So also,
you're going to go under.
Because these women have not fought in so long, nobody thinks it's going to go very long because they're both going to be exhausted at the end of the first round. So under 1.5 rounds, which is a great under, is also minus 195. So even that is a huge favorite.
So under 1.5. That's only one round.
Halfway through the second round. Maybe halfway through the second round.
Do they go literally halves like that? It's not just like a whole number?
No, it would be a time.
Oh, okay.
It would be a time.
You're sure?
So they're 5-minute rounds.
Okay.
So once you get past 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
2:30,
you've gone over.
Now you've gone over.
Yeah.
You're sure?
So 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, so she would have to win before the 2:30 mark of round 2, if you bet that.
Okay.
So those are both heavy favorites, and you can't actually parlay them together. I tried, doesn't let you do it.
Weird.
So you'd have to make them as separate bets. Not a great place to make money, but if you're going to bet on this, those are the only really places you can go.
Let me ask you one question on this. So do you remember when, I think it was Tyson against Paul? The boxing match?
Yeah.
That thing went like way long.
They have 10.
But they did it on it was almost like a spectacle. It was almost like it was WWE.
So they do 3-minute rounds in boxing.
Yeah.
And they do 5-minute rounds in UFC.
Okay. So my question is this event like spectacle like that was? Like, would they want to milk it as long as possible so that people are like at least get something to watch, or do they just want to see them go to town?
Because they're not fighting again. This isn't like this is a one-off.
Right.
These two women won't fight again. Now for Jake Paul, the promotion, sure, but I don't think either one of them really wants to be in there very long.
Okay.
They haven't fought nobody wants to really get hurt, so I think they just want to get it done. They're going to get paid regardless.
Okay.
So
all right.
I don't think they're going to carry each other for too long here. Anyway, so that's that. But we're not done. I told you
we are not done.
Weekend. Just 2 weeks left in the Premier League season, and plenty still to be decided. But that is not where Will, our expert, is focused this week. We'll show you where he is focused.
Good evening, guys. We've got the FA Cup this weekend. Chelsea versus Manchester City. This will be a good game. And your money's really got to be on Manchester City. Pep Guardiola really knows how to win at Wembley Stadium. I think his win rate there is 72% if you include penalty shootouts. And he's lifted something like 10 trophies over his career at Wembley Stadium. They're also the form side, and they've got informed strikers in Haaland and Jeremy Doku, either of which would be a good bet for a goal. I think both teams will score. I'm actually going to go for 3-1 Manchester City, Haaland or Doku to score, maybe even both. All right, best of luck.
All right, there's Big
Man
Will.
City.
And before we get out of here, we got a couple of things to talk about. But one of them, as Will was talking about, a couple of weeks left in the Premier League season before they get into their
very exciting.
Their big time. So we here at Wanna-Bet are taking a similar approach as the Premier betting show. Like the Premier League takes, they're going to be done. So we're doing the same thing as the Premier one. Is it the country, the world, the universe, all that?
I think it's galaxy.
Yeah,
not universe, but galaxy.
As the
Milky Way.
We don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
As the premier sports gambling show in the galaxy. We are also taking a break. Next week, next Thursday, at this time, will be our last Wanna Bet episode for a little bit. We have, honestly, the real reason, we have a ton of vacation coming up in the summer. So
Right.
we're not going to be here.
We're not gonna be here.
So
Right.
we thought it makes sense right now. You know, NBA, the Bruins are out, the Celtics are out, the Red Sox
stink.
So we're coming back, though,
For football season.
because football is obviously when most people are watching this program, and that's when most people in the country bet.
And that's
So
where we thrive.
we crush football seasons.
Yeah.
So we will be back for football season. August 27th, I believe, is our first
Yeah.
episode back.
We're
which is
going to
before
bring back
NFL
the
kicks off.
monster.
We're bringing back the monster teas.
all of it.
We're bringing back, which was just as a subtle reminder.
Not to, toot your own horn,
we
but
don't
honk
get all
honk.
braggadocious. But we had 19 Monster Teas bets for you last year, and we went 17-2.
I literally am only going to make that bet.
My bank
next year.
account misses that so much.
Yeah, I know.
Because everything else I bet on, I go, oh, lost by a point, lost by half a point,
Yeah.
lost by a free throw,
Yeah.
lost by a this.
Right.
Like, oh, not with football, though. Football, it's like,
Boom.
got it.
Let's go.
Dialed in.
Yeah.
So anyway, we will be here next Thursday to run this back for you.
And that'll be our last. Well, that'll be our last
That'll be
one.
the last one.
So it's leading into Memorial Day
Memorial Day
weekend,
weekend, we
which
take
is
the summer break.
Yeah, it's the end of summer,
Back
the beginning of
before-
summer, I should
back
say.
before
Yeah.
Labor Day, so we're good
Yeah,
to go.
yeah.
All right, and you may have noticed if you paid attention to the program, we do have a lot of fun when we talk about gambling. But for some people, we understand that sports gambling is a problem. So if you or somebody you know has a gambling issue, please understand there is help available to you. You can always contact the confidential helpline at 211, or you can visit 211main.org. Information and resources always available to you. The helpline, the website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, we say this every time. You don't want this to become a problem. It's supposed to just be fun. If you make a few dollars, great.
Right.
But please know
Bet within reason. Know your
gambling
budget.
where you
all that kind of
get
thing.
yourself into trouble.
The Ronda Rousey fight. What's that on?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Netflix. So if you
All right. And it's Saturday night. Similar
night.
timing as UFC, or is it going to go way later?
Jake Paul promotions are traditionally long, and he likes to drag them out to keep the viewer there for 4 hours. So I can't. No way.
Producer Isaac.
No, that's not true.
2:15
that-
a.m.
That would be
That's got to be West Coast.
no. There's no
Pacific
way that's
time.
true. There's no way.
No, that would be even worse. That's terrible. That's got to be Europe. That's got to be European time.
No way they would do that. The card starts at like 6:30 or 7. I say they'd be on about 11:30.
Okay.
That'd be my guess. There's no way they would.
Is that where you're setting the over under for the time?
I'll go 11:30.
11:30.
Yeah.
All right. Based on our limited knowledge
I'll go
from producer
11:30.
Isaac, I'm going to go over.
Okay.
I think it's going to be later. You're going to.
I want whatever time that match starts. So
Okay.
I've got 11:30 or
Yeah.
under, and you've got anything over.
And I got over.
11:30.
Yeah. This is like.
All right.
This is great.
See you guys.
Have a great day.